Everything was sit there.
All right, we got cameras rolling, we got audio rolling. So everybody, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bree more. Bree more production.
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Lauren.
Hi, Raquel.
Hey.
How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, thank you so much for visiting Bree More Productions. Are you excited?
I am. You guys are amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've been in touch for a minute.
Yeah.
And when you texted me the other day, I already had your number in my phone. I was like, we supposed to be doing something. So
Yeah.
this all came in full circle. Well, I think you're dope. That's the reason why I wanted to interview you outside of Facebook. And of course, I want people to know more about you and what you do. So let's get started. Tell us about your art.
Well, I am a professional actress and choreographer. I do also write just when it moves me, but my passion is really in theater and film.
So how did you find out your passion? Do you remember that moment that you was like, this is for me?
I think it always has been, because I always say that the art saved my life. I grew up in the system. I grew up unloved, unwanted, but every time I hit the stage, it was my reason. Like, I had a reason to keep holding on. I had a reason to keep going. So I think I always knew that I was an artist.
Define growing up in the system.
I bounced from home to home. My mother's an addict, currently, even still, and my father passed away when I was an infant, so I never got the pleasure of meeting him or his side of the family. So I went into group homes and then a couple of families before I found a family that eventually I grew up with most of the time until I was around 16.
That sounds like a testimony, seriously.
You know, I always say, if you want to adopt, please do. You know, if you have the heart for it, for the right reasons, because a lot of us age out of the system without ever really knowing all the resources we have, without knowing what love feels like. And a lot of us are fighting to, like, I didn't start living until I was around 27 years old, because that's when I decided to get out of survival mode, because that's all I knew. So it definitely, like, if it's on your heart, you know, do it. Go save a life.
Let's talk about that, survival mode. How did you get out of that?
A lot of bad choices. I always say I would be further if I was polished in my craft. Like, raising yourself, you kind of just go with the wind. You know, I always said I was so blunt, always so da-da-da-da, when really I was just rude and angry, you know. I still have those characteristics, but it's such a polished version now. But I was angry at a lot. I took for granted opportunities that I had. I've met great people, but I didn't love myself or didn't think anything was real. Like, I didn't think real love could find me, so I was just on the defense 24/7. And then I really just decided, like, I want to be happy. And that was my turning point on, okay, so I'm gonna be happy. And then it's just been uphill ever since.
It's great. What is your why?
Everyone who grew up like me is my reason. The only reason I keep going, the only reason why I keep creating. Like, every child who needs like, we don't hear we're gonna be doctors. We don't hear we're gonna be lawyers. We don't hear you're gonna be a tour dancer. We don't hear that. So I'm the one who's gonna be like, look, I was in the group homes. I was running away. I was getting abused. And look at me now. Like, it's possible for people with our background, with our story, to have it all and more.
Do you ever visit group homes?
I used to be a part of a few, like, councils, and then I did transition to my fight being from the youth to just being the Black fight and women empowerment overall. But that is something I said I need to get back to, because I feel so fulfilled when I'm inspiring youth and working with children and just giving them that extra amount of love.
I truly feel like the youth definitely need us right now.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
The only thing I see that's raising them, that's inspiring them, is the music, and we see that the music is trash.
Yeah.
So creatives like us is definitely needed. Because I grew up and people was telling me that I won't make no money in fashion, there's no opportunities in fashion or anything like that, but it was my passion.
Yeah.
And I found a way. So you are absolutely correct. They need to see a great representation of people like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. What is your favorite aspect of being an artist or an actress?
I think being a conduit for other people's stories. I think that's my favorite part of getting to tell someone else's life. Like, we just see the moment on the film, but this character has an entire backstory. They have an entire why. And that is, I think, one of my favorite things to just get to bring to life and create. Because every role I've done is somebody's life. It's a moment in somebody's story. So I think just I owe the character to tell their story in full. And I think that's my favorite.
Do you have a favorite role?
Thus far, I think one of my first characters, Eb in the Love and Drugs trilogy, I think is one of my favorites thus far, because you see her go from this hot-headed wannabe thug street girl, and then you see her become more polished. She becomes a mother in the series. Like, you see her transition. So I think that relates to a lot of people in so many different ways, and just growing up rough. So I think that's one of my favorite roles thus far.
So what do you do to get ready to go on stage?
Gospel and pray. I think that's it. Like, I really hone in and just ask God to give me whatever it is I need to bring this character to life, to make the audience feel me, to feel relatable, to evoke emotion is my goal every single time. To give a performance so moving it moves the back row. Like, that's it. So I take a moment, just have my gospel playlist on, and just spend time with God.
I love that. What's your favorite gospel song?
Right now, it is anything. Her last name is Carr, Jacqueline Carr.
Oh, yes.
Anything her, like her and Leandria, I am just hooked on right now.
Okay. What is the aspect you hate the most about your journey?
Ooh. I think the people I've encountered who will just use you for the sake of, for the time being. I think I felt so discarded, and it made me step back from my craft when, like, I let discouragement get the best of me in some of my moments. And in an artist, and like being an artist, being a creative, we have to take those moments and pour it into the art. I think it'll be some of your rawest work, and I think I missed some of those moments. Not saying they'll never happen again, but I think I missed some great moments of really pouring in such rawness and vulnerability. And I kind of went into hermit mode in those times. So I feel like those are like, man, I missed that moment to like give my creativity my all.
So you have had the moments where you come across, I'm gonna go ahead and cuss, hoe ass people.
Period.
And they discourage you from fulfilling your purpose. Yeah. And you was just like, forget it.
Right. And I just kind of went into hermit mode, just stopped creating. Imagine if I created a piece around that hurt, whether it be dance or writing a monologue. Like, imagine what that would have felt like. You know what I mean? Yeah. And instead I shut down and was like, I give up. Or, you're right, I'm not shit. I'm not worth anything. Like, imagine if I danced it out. Like, man, the art I could have created in those moments.
So redirecting the anger, the frustration into something positive instead of just like shutting down.
Right.
I love that. That's great advice. People need to hear that. Seriously. What is the most valuable, hard lesson you've learned on your journey?
This is gonna be controversial, but I promise you guys, like, do it alone. Do it alone. Like, there were times where I had ideas and I'm like, okay, if I told this person, then this person, then this person, so my idea could grow and be bigger. But then you have this person and then their creativity come in, and this person and their creativity come in, and then it becomes something unrecognizable. It becomes like, this isn't what I thought. And then you could argue, well, you weren't collaborating with the right people who had your same artistic ability. But now you're putting your goal on hold to make sure everybody has the same availability as your idea, has the same, like, do the rawness of finding out who you are as an artist first. Like, put your own things out there and then get to a point where collaboration is key. Like, I think I wanted so much to have this creative group that I missed out on opportunities and just finding my voice as an artist and doing things alone.
You know what? I agree with that. I feel like there's balance where you should do it alone and you should also have a team. Mm-hmm. But doing it alone first, like you said, it allows you the space to get to know who you are as an artist. Because that's a totally different thing as who you are as a mother, a friend, girlfriend. Totally different, you know? So getting to know you as an artist is very key. And then you made this Facebook post that I told you to pull up because I feel like you need to turn this into an ebook. Yeah. And I actually want to go into depth of every single thing that you listed. And usually our interviews are like 15 minutes, but we got to touch on this. So you posted things I learned so you don't have to. Number 1, stop helping people until you are where you want to be.
I think this one, again, some of these are going to be controversial, right? But I really feel like, imagine if you're swimming across a lake and your homegirl, your homeboys, they behind you. You can't keep going back trying to get them to meet you or be with you across the lake. Why not get across the lake, throw them a life raft, help pull them to you, right? Like, give them the encouragement even, and just, you're almost there. I did it, you can do it, right? But we spend so much time, especially as creatives, because we know the struggle. We're so empathetic to other people. It's natural in our industry. But you will keep filling your boat with water if you do not stop and get across. Like, you have to stop, get there. Everything you see for yourself, it's yours, and it's yours alone. It's your vision. That's why it was given to you. You're not meant to bring the entire posse with you. You're never gonna get there. Like, get to where you wanna be, and then the world is your oyster. You have so many people. Now I need you on my team, right? So I just am like, stop. And this is, I promise I would be twice as far as I am if I wasn't hell-bent on, man, saving them. Call me Super Saver Ho. S on my chest and everything. It was me. And it goes in a large part, it's really how I grew up. I grew up defending people in the group home, wanting to, like, so I've always been that person. But again, you have to do it the right way. So.
Number 2, stop going harder for other people's goals and dreams than you do for yourself.
This one's self-explanatory. We will pour so much into someone else's vision. Yeah, let me work on your project, or yeah, let me edit this for you, or you have a show, let me choreograph it, without even thinking about my goals, without even thinking, you know what, I'm actually working on a show. I don't have the time right now, but I'll stop that and do someone's whole production. Ain't touched my art in months, and then it's just sitting idle. And then they're moving forward. And I'm like, dang, my project got cobwebs, So it's just, we'll go hard and be so proud of, man, I'm so glad you finished this project, but you sacrificed your time without even thinking about yours. And was your art even a conversation? If the roles were reversed, would this still be the same energy, or would they say, hold on, I'm working on a project right now, I'll be able to work on yours next month? So just stay, focus. You'll get there.
I love that. Number 3, we just talked about this. Do it alone. Every idea don't need a co-host, a co-star, a teammate. It's your idea executed.
Yeah, and that's just making sure you going back into just finding yourself as an artist. If you're given a vision, execute it. Build your team as you go along, but build a foundation first.
Yes, you need that foundation. And I might seem a little speechless because it's hitting home right now. I'm like, we need a collection plate. Number 4, do it with the resources you have and let it make room for you. Do the best you can for right now, then elevate.
I feel I run into so many people with such dope ideas. And I tell them, like, you've spoken the idea, the energy's out there, do it for somebody else does. You've released that energy. Somebody's gonna snatch it up and do it if you don't hurry up. But I always say, like, well, I wanna be able to get these lights and this backdrop and this, what do you have now? Are you doing the best you can right now? Then do it, then execute. Once you have that, it will only get better. You gotta do it scared. You gotta do it with the resources. And this isn't to say to rest and do it sloppy and do it lazy, but truly give it your all with exactly what you have. And then from there, it will only get better. You'll look back and say, at one point, this really was the best that I had. And own that. And that's where you'll find respect in your art and then value when you get more. Because it'll just grow and you'll be able to see that grow bigger and bigger and bigger. People sitting on $1 million ideas because they can't afford lighting. Or I don't have this camera, or I don't have this. And I'm like, if you start and it generates revenue for you, you'll be able to obtain it even faster, you know? Like your idea, when you were given the idea, it wasn't when you had all this stuff, so what makes you think you need all those things to execute it?
That's facts. Because my first fashion show that I coordinated, I had $0 to coordinate it. So, and we still made it happen.
Right. And then it's like, now your next show, you like, man, I know how to pull this, pull that out of a hat. Like, you know, it's just it's that growth as an artist.
Mm-hmm. Progress. It hurts, but it's worth it. Number 5, stop showing up in spaces where you are overlooked. Let people anticipate your presence. I may be there, I might not.
Man, this one, I really feel like as artists, you can like be oversaturated. I'm always a fan of exclusivity. I'm always a fan of be selective, be everywhere intentionally. If you're just showing up to everything, I know that your appearance is not intentional. If you're showing up to everything, to do what exactly? Just to be seen? Because we see your art. So I really feel like you're in spaces where you want to be seen so much, you're not even noticed. If you're rarely there, people are going to be like, man, I seen her like once and I just was so intrigued by who this person was. But then you just kind of dwindle down. I see you at every single thing and then you find out and it's like, Then I see you once and I'm like, man, I loved whoever that was. I loved what was that? Let me go find them. Oh, I wonder if I'll see him at this. And it's like, no, you won't. You might not, but you anticipated me the whole time.
Right.
You wanted me there regardless. And then just also being intentional in spaces. If I'm at everything, something's not intentional. What is the intent? You know what I mean? Like, I want to be in spaces. Am I going here to network? Can I network here? Is this that even type of event? Is this my audience? But just being everywhere just for the sake of being there is doing nothing for your art, nothing for your reputation, nothing for you.
And that's actually total opposite of what I was taught. Now I have grown into the space that you're talking about because I just showing up. First of all, I don't like showing up overdressed. And I'm an overdresser. And I'm looking around and I'm like, y'all says 20s or 30s, and I'm dressed up like that, and no one got the memo.
Yeah.
So I got tired of that. So I did like lay back a little bit. And I think that's a great advice, because I do see so many, not just artists, but influencers, musicians that, I gotta be everywhere. And
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And let people anticipate you being there. That's powerful.
Be like Beyonce.
Right. Be like Beyonce. That's it. She's my inspiration. I have to ask myself, will Beyonce go to this? No.
Man, she don't tell us what she gonna drop.
Right. Like, you don't even know. Right.
Yeah.
You're like, you gonna be there? That's it. That's it.
So when you are not there, where are you?
Watching. That's it. That's all I need to do. Just need to watch, scope the scene. First of all, everybody's live these days, so I'm there. You never know, but I'm seeing everything. Most of the time, I'm like, see, that's why I shouldn't have went. Or y'all didn't miss me at all. But absolutely, just watching.
Number 6, do the work, then go home. Them folks ain't your friend.
Yes, we get so comfortable in artistic spaces, and it's natural. It's natural to be around a certain group of creatives or anything and feel like your art resonates. It's energy. It's an energy exchange, no matter what you're doing. And there are times where that's worth the exchange of information. Like, we've enjoyed each other's creativity outside of being here today. So it was like a matter of time where you like, no, we vibe on the same mental level, creatively, everything. People will mistake just that creative vibe and think, oh, I found my people. You have not. Y'all just enjoy the creative space, let it be what it is, and go home. And that's it. And that's okay. You'll find the people who you gravitate to more, the more you work with other people and collaborate and enjoy creative spaces. But sometimes we do mistake that creative energy as something more. And it's just like, you just love working with them, and that's all right. Yeah. Go home. Go home. Go home.
Roger. Please.
That's it. That's it.
I love that. Number 7, loyalty does not mean dimming your light or limiting your range of motion. Network to net worth.
Man, there are even artists, like as actors, who I will say, like, I haven't seen you at this audition, like, you fit this role, like, I look forward to seeing you audition with different groups. And they'll be like, no, I work with this production company, I work with this production company. That's not loyalty. And what does loyalty mean to you? And loyalty to yourself and your craft is dimmed out by loyalty to who you just work for? Like, I'm confused. Yeah, like, you have loyalty to people, like, they'll think like, oh, I'll shoot with Bree Productions, that's it. That's who I do my interviews with, that's who da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, that's not what loyalty means at all. Loyalty is if I'm in the room and I overhear an actor saying, man, I need to do an interview, I need to do a shoot, I want to do something really creative. My ears, hey, I know Bree Productions, that's loyalty. Not, I can't shoot with anybody else. I can't work with anybody else because this is who I'm loyal to. So it's just like expanding who you are, maintaining integrity in rooms and in spaces, of course, is what loyalty is. Being loyal to yourself, your brand, your network, your net worth, and just expanding your reach versus clicks, you know?
Yeah, please get rid of the clicks. You should be able to roam like Jesus.
Yeah, just freely.
Yes.
Freely.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So when you gonna create this ebook though?
You know, I'm working on it because a few people are like, I need this. And
yes,
I'm like,
at least a podcast
okay,
or something. Because that was 7 key notes that a lot of us as creators need to have posted, or affirmations or something.
Yeah. And all things I truly learned the hard way. Like, every single one is based off experience.
So you
I
have
promise.
been in a clique before where you just worked with
where I thought like, I'm gonna get the best opportunities here.
Yeah.
I've been here so long, like, I'm gonna have the next lead. It does not work like that, you know? And loyalty, and it's not rewarded in the sense that people would think, like, oh, I've been working with this person for so long, I'm gonna be next. It doesn't work like that. It is very much so I'm loyal to myself. I'm loyal to my passion, my art, my craft, and it will allow me to work with whomever, get the roles. You know what I mean? Like, our idea of what loyalty is as artists has to expand, you know?
Absolutely. Do you have any rituals or habits before you create?
You know, I actually used to indulge in libations. I used to like drink and everything. And there came a time where I stopped before roles, like at least a month or so out, just to fully immerse myself in the character, to fully, like, I'll journal as the character, just to build like who they are. And then that stuck. Like, I haven't had a drink in almost a year now, and like it just kind of stuck with how I would prepare for a role. I even make each of my characters, I make them a playlist. What type of music do they listen to? It's very different from Raquel, you know? And then just doing things that I think my character might do. Read a certain book, just literally become who they are before I hit set.
How do you tap out of that when the role is over?
Therapy. So I do take a psychological approach to acting, which is very risky. Actors like Johnny Depp are some who take that same approach. Luckily, I'm fortunate enough for my degree to be in behavioral science. So while it helps me dive into that character, it's also something where I can recognize I need to pull out. Definitely not an easy thing to do. Mental health in actors is not talked about enough at all. But absolutely therapy and my wife. So I'll be like, is this me? I'm tripping. She'll be like, Raquel? I'm like, sorry, I was Ed for a second there. But just having your grounding work outside of once you're done, you have to have a ritual to come out the character as well.
You know what? I never heard of that, ever. And you are absolutely right. There has to be some type of grounding, because y'all can be playing some crazy people.
Yeah, and like people don't, I think I talk to new talent a lot who want these powerful roles, and I have to remind them, like, are you healed? What have you been through? Can you portray that? Because understand, you have to go back there. You need to visit that. You need to sit in that for hours on end until you go home for the day. Like, you become that, you know? So it's like, understand your rituals for when you go home need to be as strong as your rituals for getting into that character.
Sheesh. That's a lot. How do you pull inspiration from others?
I watch a lot of just actors and actresses who I just would dream of working with. So I literally just study. I think about every little choice that they make on screen. I think about, like, why did they make that choice? A lot of people don't know that when you get a script, you just get the words. So when you are watching these movies, watching these TV shows, and they're a smoker, or they pour a drink in this scene, or that's all us, like, creating all that movement.
Like improv.
Right. Our role, they just want us to say the words. To make it believable, acting is reacting in a believable way. So when they're like, when you see a script and then you see, like, even the whole, Angela Bassett, she does it a lot. She improvs a lot. Like, I feel like this character would do this, and she executes. You would think it's in the script, but it's not. Like, every little movement, every little thing is just improv.
Oh, that makes sense. It reminds me of what Leon said about the Temptations, when he was like, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis.
Yeah,
It was like,
that was not right. And it's real. It's such a real moment. And when you really become that character, in every single movie I've been in, the scene, it grew because of our just energy and just on set. Like I have some scripts where we are just supposed to be talking, and then in the script someone pulls out, in the scene someone just pulls out cards and now we're playing cards. Wasn't in the script at all, but it fits so much and we're all in character, so we all just pick up on it. Like, right, so it's just this, that's an amazing creative space, but absolutely like just improv and just staying in it.
Why do you love to create?
I think it comes with a lot of freedom. I think the freedom to create isn't one that a lot of people in the world get to enjoy, truly. Like you have people, and I always say like being an artist is hard because we live in a world where we should not be creative. Like creativity is so looked down upon. We should have like a basic routine job, that's it, go to sleep, do it all over again. But the freedom when you're an artist, you get this freedom for your mind to just wander, for your mind to explore, for you to explore, to never get caught up in routine. We live a life where we're blessed enough to stay free from routine expectations. You know what I mean? Like it's just this mental freedom that a lot of people don't get to experience in their life.
It's so unfortunate.
It is. I couldn't imagine, right? Imagine not being able to create. Like I couldn't. I truly couldn't.
How important is creativity to the world?
Very. Everyone gravitates towards art, towards TV, towards dance, towards music because it resonates with some part of their life, because it evokes some type of emotion. And without that, I couldn't imagine. It'd just be twice as many wars, twice as many gangs, twice as many, you know what I mean? Like the little things that we are doing right as a society, as a race, would not exist if it wasn't for creativity.
That's powerful. So y'all need to support creatives and
That's it.
stop telling creatives to get a real job.
Right. This is the job.
Exactly.
I'm at work.
Right. And who's gonna entertain you while you at work?
Right.
You listening to some type of podcast, and also your fashion, the colorway.
Right. Like people don't understand how much art influences their life, but then won't support their child who wants to be a painter, won't support their child who wants to be a designer. And it's like, you're literally wearing clothes right now.
Right.
You literally have everybody who has a home has some type of art on the walls, has some type of, like why do you think that is? That art exists for a reason. Like why do you think you need it for your home to feel homey, right? Like there's a reason for it all. I don't know one person who doesn't listen to music. Like you don't even realize how much you need art to get just through your day. And it'll be the least supported, first thing taken out of schools, first thing taken out the budget. But you literally need it every single day to just survive through your day. To survive through traffic, you turn on the radio. Like, you need the art. You need it.
It would be like literally black and white without creatives.
Literally.
That's all I see right now. What is your ultimate goal for your art?
To save lives. Art saved my life, so now I just want my art to continuously save lives. If one child growing up the way I did, or in just any type of child in any difficult circumstance can turn on something that involves me, or see a dance piece and say, man, I want to be like her, or I see myself in this story, and it saves a life. It gives someone just a little piece of hope, make them feel like they're not alone in whatever they're going through, give them a new dream, new goal, new something. Like that's my purpose. So.
I love that. Tell us about your next projects and how our followers can follow you.
You guys can search Raquel Belt on anything. I will come up. You can search IMBD as well to see all the projects that I've been in. My next project's dropping. I'm in pre-production for a couple of things now, but my next project dropping is called 10 Toes Down. It's my second horror film, so I'm really excited to have tapped into that genre and give you guys something completely different. A lot of people fall in love with my like more gangster type characters, so I'm so glad I have some different genres and ranges to give you guys. I'm also in pre-production for Sun-Kissed Skin. It's going to be a musical on the Black story. And I am the choreographer in that musical, so it will be here in Dallas. I think we're in August, September, so be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to create. We have an amazing cast. It is a musical, let me preface that. It's a musical, guys. So I think it'll be beautiful stories told that resonates with everyone with Sun-Kissed Skin. So those are my two main projects that I'm really, really excited about.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
I hope you
Thank
celebrate.
you. Absolutely.
Seriously.
Well,
Make sure you do that.
I will.
All right.
Promise.
Well, thank you so much for visiting Bree Productions. It's an honor.
It is. I'm so glad to be here with you and sharing a creative space with you. Long time coming. I was just telling my wife, I was like, Bree doesn't even know. I was like sitting front row at one of her photo shoots when I first moved to Texas. You were the first show that I went to and was like, who is this woman? And I've literally been following you ever since.
Really? One of the fashion shows?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'm gonna work with her one day. It's been some years, but here we are.
And I said this to Tyra last interview. I have so many people that be coming in my dick and be like, Bree, I want to work with you. I want to work with you. And I'm like, let it flow.
Yeah, it'll
It's
happen
coming.
naturally.
It's gonna come. Sheesh. Well, thank you so. That means a lot to me. That's confirmation as well, because I get discouraged as a strong person.
Mm-hmm.
I get discouraged as well. So thank you for that. Seriously. All right.
Thank you.
Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Bree Productions YouTube channel and also like and comment. Until next time. No more post shit. Okay, you guys. Thank y'all for being